Hello, welcome to the Planning and Zoning Citation hearing for today, July 10th, 2024. I'm Ian Hall. Let me just give it to our hearing officer, Mr. Robert Maslin.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Robert Maslin. I'm an attorney. I'm the hearing officer for this afternoon. This is July 10th, 2024, and we are located in Norwalk City Hall, the conference room in the Planning and Zoning Department. What I'll do first is let everybody know how I'm going to proceed here. Generally, the zoning staff has the burden of proof on hearings and determinations of violations. Property owners and their representatives have opportunity to present their case in defense. And in most cases, I will make some form of determination at the end of the hearing, and we move on to the next hearing. These hearings are not formal as if they were in court, but they're not totally free for all. They're semi-formal in nature. I'm not ignoring everybody I can't see because I'm supposed to look toward the camera, I think. And then the only other thing that I would mention is there's an agenda, and in fairness to everyone, what I want to do is move the agenda items that have an attorney up first. And the reason for that is not because I like attorneys, it's because the property owner or the respondent has to pay for the attorney to sit and do nothing if we wait until their turn as it appears on the printed agenda. After the attorney cases, I will then move to the old pending cases in the order that they appear on the agenda, and then finally the new citations at the end in the order that they appear on the agenda. So I think we have one with an attorney, 83 Washington Street. Are there any other attorneys?
26 Wall Street.
I'm sorry, 26 Wall Street. I just looked at the wrong one. Are there any other attorneys here that are representing clients? No? Okay, Mr. Grenier?
Excuse me, thank you. Thank you.
Before I swear everybody in, is there anything that either one of you, this has been continued over, is there anything that either the staff or Mr. Grenier might have to say to kind of sharpen the issues and so we can be a little more efficient?
Nothing comes to mind.
Okay, so for mine, sure, real fast, couple procedural things. The
Do me a favor, your name and your client.
Mark Grenier, law firm of the Pamphless and Valerie, Norwalk, Connecticut. I represent NEA, N-E-A, Leosa, L-I-O-S-A, LLC, who is the record owner of this property versus the letter that was sent to Oriana and Anastasios Butsis. So just to cut to the chase here, the owner of the property is an LLC. I have a certified copy of the warranty deed showing that Neolosa LLC is the owner of the property. Putting aside that, arguing about the issues, I've been working with staff. And as soon as I found out and my client found out that there was an issue with the tenant, we sent a letter dated May 20, 2024 to the tenant indicating that pursuant to the terms of his lease, he was in violation of his lease. And under Article 12 of the lease, he had 30 days within which to cure the defect, which was to just come down the hall and fill out an application for the permit. I have my May 20, 2024 letter. I have my lease that was sent, and given the fact that the tenant failed to come to the planning and zoning office as of 5/2 and at the present time to file an application, we had served a notice of quit possession of the property, which is also in my package. That was dated July 2nd for him to quit possession on or before yesterday, July 9th. He has not quit possession. He has not filed the requisite application for a zoning permit to be considered by staff. He is not here today. I confirmed with John Zervos, a real estate attorney, a real estate broker behind us, that he had prepared an application. All he needed was the tenant to sign and submit. The tenant has, for whatever reason, has failed to do so. We intend on serving the writ summons complaint for the summary process action this week to continue with our obligations. Because the notice indicates $150 per day. We don't think that we should be on the hook or the penalty, given the fact, not putting aside the fact that the ownership is wrong in the notice, not focusing on that, but more importantly, that this is a situation where the landlord has taken all the necessary steps to timely address the issue, has not stuck its head in the sand and said, I'm not gonna deal with it. And this is less than, I think, 60 days from, really less than, about 5 weeks since I've been involved in trying to move this thing forward. So that's pretty much the rub. There's no debate that the tenant didn't get a permit. He had an obligation to under the documentation. He hasn't done so. And to the extent that, I don't know more we could possibly do other than continue it for another day, showing that we're continuing to go through the process. You know, the
Let
eviction.
me just ask you a couple of questions. Do you want to put those into the official record? Or
Yes.
would you just like to have staff? Because what I'm thinking on this is because of the notice issue that you raised and the status of your notice to quit, it probably makes more sense to continue this to next month to kind of track it rather than, because you're doing everything you can.
Correct. And we're gonna do
Fine.
the summary process,
Okay.
complaint this week, and we'll just keep moving it through. We keep staff updated as to where we are.
All right. The one question that I want to be careful of here is, in the lease, is any personal information in the version that you'd like us to consider, or have you redacted what needs to be redacted? Or would you like to share that with staff to take a look at it for a couple of minutes and then we'll come back next month? Rather than put everything in the record now.
I think only on the personal guarantor page or.
Correct. We have your personal identification information in the lease that would need to be redacted. What I could do is I could scan this whole package with the redactions and staff, so they have it in their file.
I do have one question for the attorney regarding the notice. Do our regulations, we just send notice to whoever's on the tax bill?
Mhm.
But I did pull this from our system. I just wanna, is this correct? Just so I wanna make sure that we are.
Yep, we have the same thing, great
Okay.
minds think alike.
Got it.
So the me and the other, you're absolutely right. So again, we're not, for sake of form over substance. We're really not arguing. We wanted to show that we're taking all the steps necessary to address this
Just
situation.
as a, and I'll take administrative notice of this because I just experienced the exact same thing. The assessor's office and the tax collector's office are not exactly current in their ownership and contact information records. The ordinance and the statute, I believe, also say refer to the tax collector's records. So it sounds like the staff has complied, but it's not anyone's fault in this room that notice went to the wrong owner. It's down the other end of the first floor.
Right, and that's what we're not contesting. I've been
No,
doing this for a
I
long time.
Just wanted to remind you, make sure I'm
No, you're, the tax assessor is fine. I think it's fine, but, so I will submit, I'll do a redaction of the lease. I'll send the submit package, to
Okay.
Ian. We'll get that all together, and then we just continue it for a little bit for, not say compliance, but at least to show
Are you-
that we're moving
Are
forward.
I don't want you to disclose your litigation strategy, but I'm assuming the next step is to start a summary process.
All right, the quit date was yesterday, and we'll
Or
have
you
the
can start that anytime.
Marshall Freeman will serve the writ summons complaint hopefully tomorrow or the next day.
Okay.
Return date, middle of the month, per statute, and we'll go forward from there.
And when you get that served, would you send it over to staff as well? Because once that's served, it's filed in.
Okay,
court.
perfect. Yeah, no problem.
It's a public record.
I do have one point to add. So they did, tenants wrongfully opened us vape shops without permits. So with our new regulations, we actually do have a one small regulation for in regards of vape shops where own vape shops can only open if they're further than a mile from an existing vape shop. This doesn't count for smoke shops, but it does count for vape shops. If you go to, I'll present this,
Oh, I got it. What would you like me to pull up there?
the
sir?
today's here.
You got it.
No, actually,
there.
no, it should be
That one?
out there. It should be all the way on the bottom.
Well, let me get the share screen first. I closed it out because I thought, hey, we were moving on. So here we go.
So.
At the
this
bottom?
is, yes, should be,
I apologize for getting anybody seasick here. Hey,
yeah, this.
okay. I'm getting there. Ian, let me know when to stop, my friend.
Go to the GIS.
GIS, bingo.
So I just, for those watching at home, apologize, you gotta tilt your neck. We don't pay for the nice ones, we can rotate it. But the zone that the property is in is CB4, which does allow vape shops with a limitation. And that limitation is, as I explained previously, no vape shop shall be closer than 1 mile from another lot which contains a vape shop. John's showing it.
I'm getting there. I'll get there eventually. There we
Highlighted there.
go, right there.
And we define vape shop in the regulations, next page, retail use that devotes at least 25% of its floor area to the sale and display of electronic nicotine delivery, and vapor products or e-cigarettes. We do have an approval up the road on 168 Main Street, AAA smoke shop and convenience store. Right here is the certificate of zoning compliance for that. They were approved prior to the regulations being changed. This picture was taken yesterday. They are advertising, you see circle vapes and on top right there in their sign, and some of these lines have various degrees of legality. And down there is saying electronic vape. And in the inside, you can see that they are jam-packed full of selling vape shops, vape products. So if a vape shop was to open, the next picture is just showing the distance is 0.7 miles away from 26 Wall Street. So if
I'm
this shop,
sorry, what's the minimum distance?
1 mile.
Come on.
And it's 1 mile as the crow flies, so it's actually probably less than this because the roads do bend and turn a bit. So if a
Does
smoke,
it say as the crow flies?
It does. It's a street.
Let's see, I'll bring it up.
It does.
I believe you.
Okay.
We can't control that. We're the landlord, the tenant wants to run something, they have to be in compliance. And that's, if they file and you deny it because they're not in compliance, it's not on me. We're responding to the fact
Okay,
that we
so
have a tenant.
do you need a month, 2 months?
2 months.
We doing what? Today's July, August, September?
September, yes.
Do we have a date yet?
John, what is your hearing date for?
Excellent question. Mine is I think we are the 18th.
18th. Labor Day is the 9th, I want to say,
Labor Day is the second.
second, so we could do
All right,
the 11th.
Yeah.
That works with you, that should work with us.
okay. Yeah, the 11th is fine.
And staff would also want to point out that Attorney Grenier has been working with me diligently and providing all the documents that I needed and everything, and kept me in the loop, so I do appreciate the communication that he kept with me.
I've been on the other side of it, so.
So you have an email or something from
Yes,
regarding the representation?
yes.
September 11th, what's that date there, council?
Like Wednesday?
September 11th.
Yeah.
September, thank you.
So I'm just for now I have to make findings. So the findings are the property owner is NEO LIOSA LLC. Notice quit was served based on violation of the lease. And the matters continued to September 11, 2024 to track the summary process case.
It's just for, it's NEA, then capital LIOSA LLC.
And Yeliosa?
Yep.
Okay.
Okay,
So I'll have it in the package for you. Of everything we said. You get that by the end of the day.
Awesome, good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
thank you.
Okay, council. We'll get an email.
8 Kendall Court.
8 Kendall Court, the 8 Kendall Court, I actually received an email from him yesterday, saying he was unable to make it due to job commitments, and I do have that email.
This is one of those boat cases,
This is the vote case, correct?
the boat case.
I had two, this is one of the two, correct?
I think the other one is gone, right?
Yes, I'll be looking, spoiler alert, I'll be looking to close that one today.
Okay,
So,
what's your, this is, he appeared last time.
yes, he did appear with his parents. Here's an email from
And
him.
did you have discussions? I thought we left it where you'd have some discussions internally about this. book.
Yes, we did. We did have those discussions. They are scanned to the presentation. I'll be bringing them to you. Here, the boat owner claims that he is, still having the boat worked on the property. I was unable to be moved because, of maintenance, rain, family issues. It's on display here. It's still in the driveway and covered. He doesn't want to remove it yet, just in case it doesn't make it to the water this year. He is claiming that he's having difficulty with the person, working on the boat.
I had a question. As I looked at the regulation,
Here's,
this is more of a general question.
here's the different one, so.
Okay. And I have to go back to the definitions.
I can get there.
There is, in the current regulations, a definition of boat storage.
Mhm.
And I couldn't find a definition of boat storage in the old regulations. There is something that's called recreational vehicles.
Correct, yes.
But the question I have on, boat, and it kind of got me thinking, because Norwalk is a seaport town,
Correct.
right?
Mhm.
Norwalk calls itself a seaport. There's a restaurant called Seaport.
Good reference.
There's an organization called the Seaport Association. There are marinas here. There's a pretty substantial shellfish business here. And there are condominiums with like Cove, what is it? Cove,
Covewood.
whatever it is. So I looked at the regulation and it says boat storage. A building structure, lot building site or establishment in or on which watercraft are stored. Not is stored. It doesn't say one or more watercraft. Watercraft is a singular or plural word. Are is definitely plural. Is the intent here to have this definition apply to multiple boat storage like a marina or a boat club? Or is it intended to include the one-off guy that parks his boat on a trailer in his driveway?
That is a,
I will leave that up to the staff to figure out, because there are some things that I'm kind of wondering about. Is somebody gonna come in here and say, well, wait a minute, look at the language? Or are they gonna say, well, okay, I had this boat in my driveway like the guy last month
Mhm.
for the last 10, 20 years, and now all of a sudden it's an issue. Is it a grandfathered or legally non-conforming use? I mean, there's all kinds of issues there. So, and I think it has been fairly common for people with boats to park them during the off season in their driveway.
Mhm.
I'd like to get clarification next time this comes up. Okay?
We
Just-
recently.
I'm not gonna make any decisions about it. I just raised these points for the staff to deal with.
If I may,
Oh, well, fine.
if I may,
Okay.
thank you. John Hayducky, Deputy Zoning Inspector. Just wanted to point out for the record and for for council's, consideration. Boat storage, it's defined as a specific use, in the use table. And so this zone, and, Ian can correct me if I'm wrong, I believe the zone is a CD1S or CD1M.
1S.
CD1S zone, so you follow that down, boat storage, no matter what the definition
It
is
looks
is
like
not.
all the CDs, right?
Right,
All the single
all the single family
Well,
CD zone,
Mhm.
so boat storage in of itself, regardless of what the definition is not permitted in that zone.
Yeah, but you have to meet the definition. And my question for
Right,
you to
right,
think about
right.
is that word are instead of is, or in the definition, doesn't say one or more.
right. No, I agree, and
Is it intended to be just one or more than one, or have it established as a kind of a business or a club type setting?
right, and I definitely, that's definitely worth the discussion,
I
Yeah.
think we had a little bit of this discussion last time, and where I know we're getting, because the client, the property owner's not here to respond to any of this, so
Right.
I'm not expecting anything definitive to come out of our discussion now, but I'd like the staff to discuss it internally and come up with a clarification. And consider the history of this as well. I mean, when I first moved here in the mid-60s, people had boats all over the place. And there are quite a few still today. And this change in the zoning regs would come as a surprise to a lot of people. And is it really something that was intended, or is it one of those unintended consequences?
Good point.
Yeah, they
But
definitely.
we are gonna continue this. I'm not closing this out,
Right.
so.
It was,
So if it's okay with you, I'll just continue this at property owner's request in your agreement.
I concur.
Two seconds.
I'm shocked there's no attendees in this meeting.
What did I say? August?
Sure, we do. When is your August meeting? Don't think we have a date.
That's why I got this, August 14th.
August 14th. Like a week after that should work for me, August 21st.
Wait a minute, how did we get from the 14th to
His,
So my hearing's the 14th, so you don't wanna, again,
21st?
overlap.
Okay,
nice and fun. Thank you.
next up is 16 Fireside Court.
I believe we have someone here.
Yes.
Good afternoon.
Thank you for your patience.
Let's see, let me get your. Right over here.
And before we get too far into this, what's the procedural setting of this? We have a previously issued citation, continuance to today. What's, if anything, is transpiring in between, and is there any way we can narrow these issues down?
So I sent a repeat citation of the same citation that was filed the last time. So that should continue. Oh, the same
I got you.
Same issue. John is having it up.
I got it slowly but surely.
Very slow system.
There we go.
Yeah, so for those watching at home, need a reminder, last hearing, $150 fine was assessed.
Right.
Mr. Theodore showed up once the signal was sent, paid on the June 5th, so it's within the week. A new citation was sent out. And
that's based on continued parking of commercial vehicles.
the commercial vehicles are gone. It was the failure to receive a certificate of zoning compliance for the after the fact work that was done for the rear of the property and for the shed
Oh.
dormers at the rear of the property.
Okay, all right. Do you have anything you'd like to say preliminarily before we get into testimony?
Yeah, the issue is that the outdoor patio that was built without a permit and two small dormers that were put over the shed. We did all the drawings. I submitted to the building department. He wanted some more language from the architect regarding the structure. And then I'm supposed to submit them again to the building once I get everything from the architect. And that's pretty much it.
Is that consistent with your?
The only thing, we did have a phone call, I believe, the morning of Wednesday, June 26th. Or we spoke and he told me as such. I did email, you said you were in contact with Mr. Guerrero from the building department. I did email our building inspector, Leo Guerrero, just confirming the validity of what he said. I did receive this response. It would,
Let me know when.
should be the only email.
Well, let me just ask,
There.
has a zoning permit been
The
issued?
zoning permit has been issued, has not been closed out.
Okay, so that covers the zoning
Yes,
work, and then the next step is for the building department to issue a CO.
Correct, yes. Oh, issue a permit. So how it works.
Well- Yeah, for your purposes, you would do a certificate of compliance,
We did not issue a certificate of compliance
okay,
yet.
but that's coming.
That's,
That's the next step in the process.
that's the next step in our process.
So what you're saying is everything is underway here.
Yeah, it took a long time for me. That's the problem. It was last August. And we're almost back into August, so that's why,
Next time you build dormers, get a permit first.
well, I wasn't here when they were built. It was my wife.
We're on the record, just a warning. She might watch that.
Oh, no, I was in Greece, so
You want to continue it for a month? How long do you think it'll take?
Um,
I'm just waiting it's not up to me. It's the architect that's delaying me.
We'll continue for a month.
And I'm gonna be the month of August, I'm gonna be out. I'm gonna be away,
yes,
so. August 1st to the 30th, I'm not gonna be in town.
August 1st to the 30th. Okay, so we should probably move it to September then.
If that'll be great, thank you.
And his oral notice, good enough. So don't need to send more mail out.
Yeah, don't waste the man.
Thank you for becoming our best friends with our constable.
August,
September.
not August?
He's gonna be
I'm
away.
gonna be away the whole month of August.
What date was that?
The 11th.
Bad day.
It is hard to forget.
Does that become a time when city halls open or closed or?
Plural,
We have been
You're
open.
open?
this week, yes.
lamentably so, but yes.
Okay. So my findings right now, zoning permit is issued, building permit application in process. Matter continued to September 11th, 2024. Okay,
Thank you.
and you don't need any further notice of.
No, I'm fine. It's in my calendar, thank you.
Awesome.
2 o'clock again, right?
Yes. I'll send an email still, just so you have that.
Excellent, thank you. Have a great day. Enjoy the rest of the summer.
Okay,
Right.
7 Norvell,
Yes. And for 7 Norvell, we have Mr. Luis from the building department acting as a translator.
Hey,
Thank you.
let's see.
all right, now. Ready? Good afternoon, sir. Would you please tell us your name and address for the record?
Díganos su nombre y dirección para el récord.
My name is Armando Madera. I live in the 7 Norbert Road, Norwalk, Connecticut, 06850.
Okay, Ian, what's the status here?
This was continued. We met on May 29th, the last hearing, and we continued it to today. So we brought it in for suspicion for a rooming house conditions where it was not allowed in, I believe, the CD1S or 1M zone.
Yo estoy aquí porque
CD1S.
usted estuvo aquí hace un mes y le continuaron su fecha hasta hoy porque están sospechando de hacer habitaciones en su casa.
It was continued, you continue the matter as he claimed that he was working with the building department on getting permits for, because the zoning permit has been issued and we're still waiting on the building permit to be issued.
So let me just, would you explain to him that we're trying to narrow down the questions here, so that we can be more efficient?
Yo estoy tratando de hacer preguntas para ser más eficiente, para no preguntar mucho.
Okay, so from what I remember from last time, the question here was how many roomers? You know, this was a rooming house.
Mhm.
How many people were there? What the relationship is? Are they separate units? What's the story? What needed a building permit?
Just, there was renovation where it was done, where it was finishing the basement. And just having the conversion of like having the deadbolt locks on the doors to create the suspected rooming house
Yeah.
conditions.
Yeah, okay,
So
so
which that was done without a permit.
zoning permit's been issued.
Zoning permit has been issued.
And
Dijeron
what,
que estaban esperando que se sacara un permiso del building department para terminar el basement y cambiar los locks de la puerta también.
and the zoning permit is for work on the building, not the change of use.
Yes, but to read it verbatim, it was minor interior renovations plus cosmetic work to a single family residence, including replacement and separation locks. Including replacement, I can't read this handwriting, I apologize. This is your handwriting. You mind
This is
reading
me, I'll read
I
it.
can-
Sorry, everybody.
it? Mine's for the record.
You don't have to read
Para
it, I
hacer
got, I
cualquier
got.
trabajo
Yeah.
pequeño, cosméticos
Okay,
y
so
también para
what's the
cambiar
next step
los
here?
locks que no se vea que
Got a
están
building permit
separados.
pending?
Building permit pending, our inspectors did conduct an inspection, they deemed it to be a rooming house due to the storage containers in the basement. And the separated room locks, so like they're all deadbolt locks, so the keychain, like a janitor's keychain to open all the rooms, so they determined it to be they're determined to be a rooming house. And that's why we brought this matter to last month's hearing, where
Okay.
we had a determination that it was converted to a
Y le
rooming
digo
house.
que los inspectores cuando fueron determinaron que sí había trabajo que lo hicieron ilegalmente y que habían habitaciones hechas también ilegalmente, que estaban cerrados, separados, y que para todas las habitaciones había storage separado para que ellos metan sus pertenencias y que sí entraron eso.
¿Puedo hablar o todavía no?
Can I talk or not yet?
Go ahead,
Oh,
Dale.
it's fine.
let me go first.
Ok, con respecto a eso lo hablamos en la última reunión. Yo dejé claro que los gestores es para uso personal mío, porque trabajo en la construcción y tengo mis herramientas ahí. Yo solo participé, se lo expliqué a los inspectores la primera vez y la segunda vez que fue el inspector Peter del Building Department, le dejé saber eso. Sí hice los closets sin permiso, hice un baño sin permiso, un cuarto sin permiso porque no sabía.
He said in respects to what was said, I built the closets for my tool storage. I work construction, so I keep my tools in there. And I did build, an illegal, a bathroom without a permit, a bedroom without a permit, and the closets without a permit. And when Peter went, Peter?
Yo le dejé saber a Peter que eso, los closets, él vio que eran herramientas. No hay otras cosas como pertenecen a personas.
He said,
Solamente son herramientas.
He said when Peter from the building department went, he inspected the closets and saw that it's just tools. There are no personal belongings in the closets.
What do you,
Look, if I may, again, John Hayducky, Deputy Zoning Inspector. So the property owner came in and, we had a conversation, on around say around July 1st, somewhere around.
Yeah, 20 days ago. I think.
Yeah, it was around the beginning of July. The problem lies in, I was told this by the, building inspector, Peter Kelly, that the issue is there could be building code issues with the basement. The basement, they're considering it finished with no permits. As I said, there's a bathroom, there's a bedroom. So
Okay.
they're considering finished without permits, and there's certain codes that Peter cannot verify without, the overarching thing here is more detailed plans. And that's what that's what Peter needs to proceed for.
Para el building department, dar el permiso, Peter Kelly necesita ver planes con más detalles, porque él no sabe si, si siguieron todos los códigos, si códigos fueron violados, o él necesita un plan detallado que diga los planes que se hicieron, cómo se hicieron, cuándo lo hicieron y quién lo hizo.
Okay.
let me just, one question.
Una pregunta.
Is the building department treating this as a single family residence or multifamily?
As far as I'm aware, they're considering it a single family. And that's how they're
The
doing
codes
theirs.
change depending on how many
They do,
units. and-
they do, and they're not, to my understanding, they're not looking at this any differently than a single family with a finished basement.
Is this a situation where there are a few potential issues that are in play here, not just whether it's a rooming house?
Well, right, the issue would become if for some reason that a part or all of the basement could not be permitted through building code, then obviously that's a big problem because they would have to
Well, that's a building
either.
issue.
Well, that's what I mean. So then,
Lo que no, todavía no, pues,
then the
verificar,
permit would
porque
have to be
con la inspección que
adjusted
hicieron,
to
no pueden verificar si
show
se
that it
hizo
has to be
código,
either
o cómo
removed
se
or
hizo, el
renovated to
material
be in
que
compliance.
hicieron,
Okay,
que usaron y todo eso.
you were gonna say
Entonces,
something.
después de la reunión que tuvimos aquí hace el mes y algo, me dijeron que contactara a Peter. Yo contacté a Peter, estuvimos llamadas, yo lo llamé, él me llamaba a mí, prácticamente perdimos como 2 semanas porque la información que me dieron aquí no era la que necesitaba, sino era otro tipo de requisito.
He said that when I left here last meeting, I lost about 2 weeks playing phone tag back and forth with Peter. And then once I finally got in contact with Peter, I realized that the information I was given here was very different from what information Peter requires, you know.
Tuve que venir y hablé con John hace como 3 semanas, 2 semanas, algo así. Me recomendó que buscara un arquitecto.
Yeah.
Lo contacté. Aquí tengo el contrato. Me hizo los planos, los nuevos planos. Eso es lo que me imagino que están pidiendo, pero eso lleva tiempo. Él solamente me dio una copia, no está terminado, y me dijo que necesitaba 3 semanas para terminar.
He said, after I found out that I had the wrong information, I came back and I spoke to John, about 2-3 weeks ago. And John informed me that I needed,
This John.
yes,
Mhm,
John
yeah.
Hayduggy, yes. John Hayduggy had informed me that was going to need an architect. So I reached out to an architect and I have a contract right here. And the architect started drafting some plans, but the architect told me that he's going to need 3 more weeks to finalize.
Yes.
Okay. I'll just make an observation that the zoning code is one set of rules that have to do with the use of the property. The building code is how you build the building.
Okay.
2 different sets of rules. So what zoning says might be different from what building says, but that's just the way it is. It's not that somebody gave wrong information. It's just 2 different sets of rules.
Él dijo que no fue que le dieron mala información, sino es que las reglas de zoning, las reglas del building department son diferentes. El zoning department te deja saber qué se puede hacer y el building department te deja saber cómo lo puedes hacer. Son 2 cosas diferentes que trabajan juntas.
Entiendo.
I understand.
La persona encargada de hacer los planos vino aquí y habló con Ian, Sony Inspector, Ian.
That's it.
Okay, okay.
He said that
Él habló con,
the person I spoke to at the architect firm referred me to Ian, and I came and I spoke to Ian.
okay, and
All right, let me just see if because we got a bunch of other people. This is on once, this is second time up,
Correct. Yeah.
yes,
and ordinarily I don't like to keep continuing these, but it looks like some progress is being made.
yeah.
A zoning permit's issued, the building is in process.
Mhm.
You still have to go and
Do a final inspection.
do a final inspection for a certificate of compliance, and then he gets a CO. Are you satisfied that the ball's rolling here with enough, progress that
We
we
could
could put this over another month?
continue this until again without a set date. Then
I don't wanna leave it without a set date, because you know what'll happen.
that's a good point. So
So, you know, después
Pero
preguntando que si
especially
no
with me.
sería posible
That's
de
good.
continuar, you know, de no hacer nada hoy, continuarlo a otro tiempo para darte más tiempo para terminar. Pero yo quiero saber, you know, si te dan un específico tiempo o te dejan, no, que cuando termine tu vuelvo, pero yo creo que te van a dar una fecha.
Como expliqué ahorita, la persona de los planos me dijo, hoy fue que firmé, porque tuve tiempo para conseguir y esperar por ello, y sigo esperando de que me dijo de 2 a 3 semanas. No creo que para la fecha que están diciendo que agosto 14, creo, no creo que estén listos. Y de ahí tendría que venir aquí y comenzar a hacer los permisos con ustedes.
He said that the person who's doing the plans for him said that he's gonna need 3 weeks to finalize it, so he's not sure if it's gonna be finalized by August 14th, because he said by the time it's finalized, he's gotta come here and then figure out what the next step is from there.
That's fine. I want to make sure we keep track of this.
Sí, él dijo que está bien, pero yo quiero
If it's-
saber, you know,
If it's just to come in.
Yeah, I want
to
to
track
cooperate.
it, That's fine.
yeah,
I
aunque
want to cooperate, that's it.
él dijo que te van a dar la fecha para ese tiempo solamente para que nos digas, you know, a dónde está el proceso,
Okay.
para que no se pierdan, you know, para no perder tiempo.
If I can, just, if it looks like the architect's not gonna make it by by the 14th, just shoot us an email. Let us know ahead, and just don't, just let us know.
Yeah. Si tú crees que el arquitecto no lo va a tener de aquí a la próxima fecha, te va a mandar un email y déjalo saber.
¿Tengo que venir o no?
Do they have to come back? Huh?
I would highly recommend that, but Attorney Maslin will make.
No,
that.
I want to see people here.
Okay, very
Yeah,
good,
si
very
vienes
good,
para la
okay.
próxima fecha tienes que estar aquí presente.
Okay, so for today, my findings, zoning permit for work done on house has been issued. Building permit is in process. Owner engaged an architect to prepare necessary plans. Matter continued to August 21st, 2024.
Dijo que para hoy el zoning permit ya está hecho, están esperando el building permit y los planos del arquitecto y que la próxima fecha es el 21 de agosto. August 21st, correct?
21st.
Yes, and I'll send notice again.
Okay.
21 de agosto.
21st?
21st.
Sí, sí, el 21 de agosto y te van a mandar una carta. Right, a letter?
Yeah, I'll
Okay,
send an
yeah,
email.
te van a mandar una carta por el correo.
Thank you.
Thank you.
51 East Avenue.
Is that-
Is this the painter?
Yes.
These are super clean. Oh, that's fine. That's fine.
Okay, so
That's fine, man. Got it.
decision form.
Get this up here.
That's
Okay, ya sí.
Yes, we'll be in touch, absolutely. See you soon.
So this has been continued from last month's. Oh,
It's gonna be on the record, isn't it? On the record. And then we're sharing here, so we're good.
awesome. Yeah, there was.
When we left off, there was,
There you go.
we were, we had talked about painting vehicles, commercial vehicles and supplies being stored outside.
Correct.
Have they not been moved?
No,
What's the status?
if John could
I
show
will-
here, so staff.
You let me know.
Saw evidence of, so our meeting last month was on the 29th.
Mhm.
And this picture was from the 30th, the day after. We had a public community engagement thing at night, so we saw this driving home. On the June 1st, again,
I'm getting there.
more equipment and the commercial vehicles. New citation was sent at the time. Then again, on the 5th, these are all from the 5th. The 8th,
These are during the day,
these are all during the day with the
except for
exception
the
of
first one.
the one on the 30th. And from the 5th. And going back to June 30th, Chief Enforcement Officer, Ms. Molinado, saw storage of Jonathan's painting vehicles on a property on Connecticut Avenue.
Slow down there, so the picture just took a little time loading there, so my apologies, everybody. Can only go as fast as the computer will go.
And then these are the photos taken by
Alright.
our Chief Zoning Enforcement Officer, Tammy Molinado. This is an address on Connecticut Avenue, so.
Connecticut Avenue.
Yes, so I believe once they received another citation, they just moved the vehicles to another.
What's the story? What's the status of all this?
And it was yesterday, one. Sorry, 2 days ago,
Yeah.
yes.
And for the record, again, John Haydock, DW zoning inspector, I'm the one that took that photo, and emailed it to myself and then over to the record here at about July 8th, 6:30. And saw 2 commercial vehicles and there were employees moving materials in and out of the basement. I wasn't able to get more photos because I was at a stoplight
Are
and I was
you,
already
are you
angry.
Jonathan Garcia?
Yes,
Okay. All right. What's the status?
we just moved. We're not in the building anymore, so if you see
You're not
truck,
in the building anymore?
I mean, no more trucks, we're
No
moving.
trucks?
This is 2 days ago, the last photo.
Oh, yeah, this was
Put
from.
the
I took
July
this.
8th photo up.
That
That's
is,
me. That's it.
I don't see anything wrong with the picture though.
Pardon?
I said, what's wrong with that? We talk about, we can have employees park
There's
and take off.
Sure, you can have employees there, but is there a violation there?
The multiple commercial vehicles.
Yeah, but we talk about that.
Well,
So-
you're gonna have them coming and going,
Yeah.
I mean, that,
If I may. Yeah, thank you.
Sure.
I don't want to jump in there.
this is one of those violations that, it's like somebody
Well,
speeding. They're
but,
speeding for a
um,
moment in time, but it doesn't mean they're always speeding.
Well, I'm gonna try and do this as quickly as possible, but, the property was permitted, the business was permitted to be at the property, back in 2019.
Okay,
And under that permit, because at the time it was a different zone, the zone has not changed much, since then. However, the permit required, only permitted one commercial vehicle to be allowed on premises.
A night,
I believe if you scroll, there's also a signed affidavit.
Yes, and there was also an affidavit signed by Jonathan Garcia. So the issue here lies in, and it's even worse now in the current zoning regulations. They're not even allowed one. Yeah, they're not even allowed
well,
one.
it's grandfathered because that was.
Well, right,
is what-
so they're allowed one, and
They're
we're not
allowed.
debating that. If there was one, if we had gone out there every time and just seen one commercial vehicle, one commercial van, I wouldn't be here. We wouldn't be here. And plus, it is, it's also clear that there's, you may not be in the building per se, but I mean, I was there last night. I saw the guys taking stuff in and out of the basement. Now, whether it's stuff that was being disposed of, whether it's new stuff, I don't want to argue that. But it was definitely the employees coming from the vans to the basement.
And if I may,
That's the issue.
the photo that was taken on the 30th, the day after our last hearing, this was at night, as this was our hearing
Overnight?
overnight, yeah, there was definitely overnight parking. Cause our meeting ended at, I want to say 8:30.
All right, let me just kind of cut through some
several.
of this, because we're sort of having a discussion here and not a trial yet. This is a painting business that was permitted here and allowed to have one commercial vehicle
Parking on night,
Parked.
overnight.
at a
Mhm.
time.
Mhm.
As of 2019,
That's correct.
okay. Under the old regulations, what is a commercial vehicle?
Under the old regulations, a commercial vehicle is any vehicle over a 1 ton rated capacity. By the state of Connecticut, which is crazy definition, and
Well, that van's not a 1 ton.
right, and then at the time, you're only allowed. In that, again, that's why the permit reflects it, you're allowed one said vehicle.
I know, but that's
Under-
not a commercial vehicle.
Well, right, so when you're allowed a commercial vehicle under 1 ton, you're allowed no commercial vehicles over 1 ton.
What's the letter say?
Well,
Or
there's,
the affidavit says one commercial vehicle.
right, so I would say, okay, for example, I'm just using this picture as an example, it's just, if this guy over here wasn't here, I would say this is in compliance. But there's
Well,
multiple
wait a minute,
vehicles.
wait, you're missing, my point is.
Yeah.
If a commercial vehicle is a vehicle with basically a load capacity of 1 ton,
Yeah,
that van doesn't have a load capacity of 1 ton,
correct.
so it's not a commercial vehicle.
No,
You're-
still.
Unless I'm misreading the affidavit, pull the
No,
affidavit.
sure,
out.
I figures
No,
I
let me
just
just
closed
see
it,
it.
I just
I
figured I
want
just
you to
closed it
pull
there. And these have. Pass it, my apologies. If I passed it, I apologize. There we go.
Right, okay.
That's up here, it's
All
there.
right, so there's, it's a letter, all right. Okay, in addition, I will not park more than one commercial vehicle. Okay, so scroll down to the zoning permit.
No, this is.
Down.
The,
Oh, the up, down.
The down, sorry,
Okay.
sorry, the other one.
Because one of them has the.
Right.
No storage of equipment, materials, okay, that's another issue, but. But there is that letter that talks about commercial vehicles. And if the definition in 2019 was a vehicle with a payload of a ton, a capacity of a ton, then if you got a vehicle, a van that's got all the writing in the world on it with a commercial plate that doesn't have a capacity of a ton, or I'm sorry, 1,000 pounds, then it's just not a commercial vehicle. It may be a way of, it may be a strict reading of it, but that's how we have to read it in citation.
Well, right, and
Situations.
I would agree, but it would be limited to, in any zone, any commercial vehicle, heavy or light, limited to one. There's multiple in
With
this case.
a payload of 1,000 pounds, payload capacity of 1,000 pounds.
Right,
If you don't hit that 1,000 pounds, you could have 10 of them and they're not commercial vehicles.
and then,
You understand? what
I
I'm
understand
saying?
you are, then I will respectfully, I will go to today's regulations.
Okay, but they don't count because
Well,
it's legally non-conforming. It was permitted in 2019.
to have one commercial
Wow.
vehicle.
Okay,
Do we
fine.
have any photos that show 3 vehicles?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So, actually, the one that.
I think with Attorney Maslin is,
Are any of those?
I'll bring it up.
Two or more of those.
I'll bring it up.
at one time?
Yeah, close your eyes, everybody. There you
Okay,
go. Uno, dos, tres, cuatro, cinco.
right, but what is the,
Those are all under the kind of.
Under one
with the
ton,
larger
that's really
vehicle
what I'm
outside.
saying.
And I've seen it.
This guy right here is probably over 1 ton. It's a it's a dual axle
dual axle?
in the back. Yeah,
So
it's
that's
got
one. That's one.
over a ton. Right,
That's one.
right. So
The
that's a
one behind
commercial.
it, if it's under a ton, I mean, I keep saying a ton, under 1,000 pounds,
No, it's 2,000. It is 2,000 pounds. You're right. That's that was a regulation back then, under a 1 ton rated capacity.
1 ton.
Rated capacity, yes.
I'm sorry.
Can
Oh, then-
can I see the
then-
picture with all the bunch of trucks?
Right.
What day was that?
Those aren't,
That was on the 30th of May.
those aren't 1 ton trucks, they're vans.
Right. So,
This is the problem that the state of Connecticut caused when they started using combination plates.
I will 1,000% agree with that.
Because, and unfortunately, we're all stuck with it.
I-
And I remember a situation where somebody in a different part of town complained because vehicles with combination plates were being parked on the street in a residential zone, and the answer is, unless it's 12,500 pounds, it's not a commercial vehicle, it's a combination,
I don't know,
you know.
I don't know how germane this would be, but this is,
Really, it really gets technical, but, you know,
we are adjusting these new regulations as we speak. We have regular discussions about them, and I have brought that topic up specifically.
Yeah.
That we need to change what we're
We need to
talking
be
about right now,
really
does
specific.
need change, but unfortunately, that's what we're,
that's what we're
in the
stuck
book
with
right now, right.
And unfortunately, you have, I think, we're dealing with a situation where a use was permitted in 2019, so you can't change the regulations on the permittee,
Well, I would,
because that, it becomes legally non-conform, or, I mean, it's permitted, so
well,
you can't
right.
take away a use that's been permitted.
Right, so my last counter to that would be is, at the time, it was allowed and CO'd and with a signed letter by the owner that it allowed one commercial vehicle. No, right,
The
whatever that,
commercial vehicle,
well,
doesn't
what
say
it may-
Size or what capacity.
right, so now it says commercial vehicle. And I would submit, whether this would fly or not, is that the definition of commercial vehicle is going to change over time in the regulations.
It may,
And it
it
was,
may very well change, but
and
you still have a non-conforming use here, no matter what you do to the regulations.
so I say, if we. And I guess I'm looking at it as if we had some documentation as to what was there as the commercial vehicle at the time. And now we have different commercial vehicles.
Yeah, but if you have a definition of commercial vehicle, like, that's triggered by that 1 ton capacity, that's what's gonna apply.
Right. And
Now, last time we were here, there were pictures of supplies and materials
Mhm.
stored out in the parking lot. That's definitely a violation. Has
Right.
that been cleaned up?
To our knowledge, it comes and goes. So,
Yeah, that's true.
Oh, my fault, everybody.
You have pictures of it, other than.
Yeah,
Well,
but that was
well,
right
that's-
after the last meeting. When I came last time, last meeting, you know, of course, we do need, you know, a few days to organize and take everything out. You can check the property right now. And it's clean.
Reasonable, but when was this? June
that was
5th?
the fifth.
When was the
And
last
I'll get
meeting?
that up on the, screen.
29th,
Hang on.
Okay.
Hang on, let me get
Yeah,
that.
we have photos.
No, what
How's
the
it been
heck?
since?
The last photo, frankly, I think this van is covering it. And this one is not.
Picture that shows it.
That,
You know.
there we go. Be sorry, everybody. Having a good day here. Yeah, so we have the June 1st here, so that one. We keep going, sorry again, everybody.
Also intentionally.
Yeah. Yeah,
Not a line of sight for this one.
yeah, that's not a good line of sight. I mean, you got definitely,
Right, but that's.
Construction
a couple of
material
days
that-
After the last.
it's June
Yeah,
fifth.
it's all,
So,
it's
so
all,
it
it's all
sounds
done.
like, it sounds like you cleaned it up.
Yeah, it's all done. I can say that. You can go back and check again. Everything is clean.
So the only issue now is the trucks and the truck. I
There,
think we-
there's no issue with the trucks. There's only one truck a night, that's it. And if you ever see a truck during the day parking, picking up some paperwork, that's all about it. I'm telling you right now, I'm not afraid, I'm not hiding anything.
We are gonna keep an eye on the,
You
I
can-
guess, Connecticut Avenue, because we have seen multiple vans on a,
That's-
What's the issue with Connecticut Ave?
No permits.
you have no permits to be here, and you're storing your vehicles here.
What's the issue there?
No, I won't enter this to the record, per se, because it's not with this address, but staff has seen Johnson painting vehicles on another address.
Okay.
Yeah, but I'm
What-
here.
Well,
What's the issue?
hold on.
Mhm.
He's parking vehicles there to address the concerns. So it is relevant. What zone is that parking area in, and how is it not compliant?
This should be 3DC, CD3C, this zone.
That's residential over?
No, that is, commercial.
Where's that?
This is, I don't have the exact address.
Here, I will try and get that up there for everybody if I can, if you would once
CD3,
again
what is
allow
it?
me to,
Give me the page.
I can get it.
Oh,
I
sorry,
know.
one
where it is.
sixty-three Connecticut Avenue. There you go.
All right, I know where it is.
The page number, it's in section.
Here, let me get
So
the
it's
address
Article
for you first.
4, page number, I don't know, the page, after CD3, I know that.
Civic districts,
Yeah.
48,
So Article 4.
It's not a civic district, it's community district.
Community district.
civic
Don't
district,
mind, Sarah. Oh, remember we changed it? Yes,
civic.
They don't have fence.
yeah, there's no fit up for Johnson painting to be in, 163 Connecticut Avenue.
What kind of permit would you get? It's.
This is pretty much what he has right now, pretty much just to operate out of,
Right, but what's,
and
what kind
in
of permit would you?
motor vehicle storage.
If you're curious there, Counselor, this is the property in question. So here's Taylor Avenue here, exit 14.
You mean what?
This is the property in quite where he's. Those vans in the picture,
Which is the bridge that burned up?
That was.
that's Fairfield, that's
Fairfield, that was.
that's over here. That's here.
Oh, so I got it, okay.
Yeah, and just I'll throw this on here, little guy. Just to-
So where's the,
So it'd be up here. This used to be a dispatch for Norwalk Taxi.
okay,
And to our permitting knowledge, it should be vacant right now.
Yeah,
Could
they abandoned that and it should be,
So
it's just a vacant
what
parcel.
would be a valid use there?
Again, if you'd
Or
allow
to the
me,
use table.
you'd allow me, I think I have use table here still. Yes, I do. Let's see. Oh, come on, man. There we go. So this would be a commercial vehicle storage yard is what we'd be looking for here.
Not a parking lot?
No, because it goes back to that circular argument, is this a commercial vehicle or not? And in our current definitions, they are commercial vehicles now.
What are?
These, the vans.
Vans,
Oh, okay,
because our current, again, I can bring that up if so desired, we have our. Any markings of a business, so signage on the vehicle, any tools, racks, ladders.
Okay, so we have, so now we have,
I'll get that definition up, no worries, I'm on it. I'm on it. Is it, or is it in the use table? I'm still navigating these myself, folks, just
I think it's in the use table.
Yeah, it's on the limitations, I think. It's down
Storage
here,
of-
yep,
so there's no, commercial vehicle is not a capitalized.
storage of not more than one commercial vehicle. And actually, I'm also pushing it this fixed, it's under vehicle commercial,
Mhm.
not commercial vehicle. Yeah, yeah,
Who drafted these?
No, we didn't write the regs. We didn't
wasn't me,
hold it.
I just nod and smile. And then we get the,
All right, hold on.
yeah, we get the definitions here.
Okay.
So,
Lettering, marking, so,
yeah, so currently, and this is for the folks at home, so you got an idea of what we're talking about here. Right there. Vehicle, commercial, any more vehicle with a commercial license plate or lettering, markings, racks, or other apparent accessories
so this is a new
indicating.
use. Not grandfathered because it's in a different
Location,
location for
right.
the first time.
So he would be getting a permit for a,
Now,
and
can you get a permit?
that is, Counselor, you and I are on the same page. So I am gonna go get the use table here. Use tables. And CD3C.
I just don't get it. Alright. So what about the people next door? Like, there's like a 12 trucks parking.
Next door. to
One of the
51.
problems, sir, is that many uses in Norwalk are grandfathered because they were permitted and allowed under the regulations at the time they were started.
Well,
And over time, when the regulations changed, those pre-existing uses are allowed to continue. That's by state law.
okay,
So when you see a number of trucks parked that don't look like they comply with the current regulations, if they started at a time when they were allowed,
got it.
then.
But there was a taxi place before with a bunch of taxis with a phone number and stuff.
Yeah, well, I mean,
So what's,
I mean, that would,
that's
right?
That's
like
an
that.
issue with the definition, that somebody's either, if you don't like it, then try to get.
Well, can I bring it,
permission
can I,
to change
okay,
it.
I mean, can I bring it up to code?
well, so here's,
We started looking into whether you can get a permit, so what zone is this?
sure it's
I'm
CD3C.
95% sure it's CD3.
Well, it kind of would, I'll be honest, it kind of doesn't matter because the only two properties, the only two zones which this use would be allowed in is SDLI and SDHI, and those are industrial zones, and Connecticut Avenue is not an industrial zone. So it's,
So what if it's a use that's, an accessory to allowed commercial use? Suppose he put his painting business in that building that's not being used right.
Maybe the same case where you're allowed to store one.
well,
I don't know,
I mean, the problem is with the
But I'm
CD,
sorry,
yeah,
what do you mean? Like, I'm renting that place right now. I have a contract for 3
no,
years.
I understand that, but let's.
at Connecticut Avenue,
Mhm.
okay, I mean, look, anything that we, I'm just,
Let me just go back to my.
Sure, yeah,
question
sure,
before
sorry,
we do
yeah.
that. What, this is in what zone? 95 something or other zone?
no, it's a CD3C, so. And I'm currently looking in here for all the commercial
Okay,
uses.
so CD3 is there. Where's the CD?
Right here.
Right there.
Okay. All right, and those are principal uses.
Correct.
And what's allowed?
So, which would be in the same realm as what Jonathan's doing here. Here's CD3C, and here's industrial commercial. Right here, follow my mouse view. So,
Go up a little bit.
yep,
Up.
Go up.
You're running up.
Sorry,
Up, down. Stop.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, principal use, motor vehicle maintenance, repair, fuel sales, service, or cleaning. What is that, a special permit? Dot,
That would be a special permit, yes. Special permit with limitations. So that's a lot there.
okay. And as you go down that list. Okay, commercial vehicle storage yard not permitted, but that. Okay. What about accessory use?
I can go there. So C3C, I'll keep the mouse right there so everybody can follow along.
Now, what's PL?
Permitted with limitations. And then those limitations follow the chart. So like we're the 1 ton capacity thing, that's what that is.
Well, it seems like there's quite a bit there. Garage,
Permitted, the garage is defined as a structure though. So has to be a
no,
structure.
just kind of
Yeah.
going through, keep
Yep.
going. Parking areas permitted.
And they do have a parking area already, but the parking area is the surface definition. And the definition is a parking area is basically what we had
Well,
as
you
a,
need a principal use to have the accessory.
right, and it was also parking area is I'm deeming it a fancy term for parking lot.
Is there a way?
We
under
don't
the
have a parking lot
regulations-
definition.
Is there a way under the regulations that he can store those trucks
The only
on
way,
Connecticut Avenue?
I think what he would have to do, this is purely, I would, if he was coming over to me, and we've known each other for a while, so if you came to me and said, John, I need a permit to store my trucks and vans at 168 Connecticut Avenue, I would say you're a commercial vehicle storage yard or lot, because you're storing all your commercial vehicles there. Because under today's regulations, they are commercial vehicles. So I would say, okay, under this chart, it's not allowed. So then what we would do is we'd go back to see what Norwalk Taxi was approved as. To see if they were in any way.
Mhm.
A commercial vehicle storage yard or a reasonable equivalent to that. And then at that point, you'd be going for one non-conforming use.
Well,
To
it would be
another.
Similar non-conforming.
Similar, I would direct them to ZBA.
Could he put his painting business in that little building?
The business, if he's, because on East Avenue. His painting business inside is an office. So that is allowed. So an office is allowed in the CD3C zone and on East Avenue.
And this would be accessory to the office use.
Correct. So if we keep going down here, we will oh, my fault. Where is it? I went too far.
I guess what I'm getting at is there a way you can make this work so that you can park his truck?
See that, I'll be, Councilman, be very, I am.
There's people sitting behind.
I
you
know,
that are
yeah,
very
I
upset
am
because
not,
we're
I know,
spending
they're
a lot
being
of
very
time.
patient. So I'll be, I would need to do some digging. On the record, being completely honest, I am not 100% certain that,
Well, this
the
has
UC
been
could go there.
continued once already.
right,
It looks like he removed the outside storage of materials
fair,
within a week or so after the last
Sure.
hearing, which is, I'm okay with that.
fair, yep.
All right.
There are, and I'll just throw it for the record, anybody watching at home, is that there are more places now, as in those industrial zones,
Yeah.
so there's more of that now available than there ever was. And we can get a permit in one of those zones. We can do that, no problem.
My ultimate goal here on this case
Is
is
to get-
he responded, he did clean it up.
Mhm.
Now there's an issue with the vehicles. And there's an interpretation question to begin with, and he's trying to work with you.
Right, that's
Well,
what,
that sounds like what you're doing, right? Trying to comply, trying to work with the staff.
Yeah, but now I got to another issue.
Well, yeah, but my point is, you're trying to work with them, and in doing so, you run into these other issues. So would the staff have any problem with continuing this over to the next month? It's recommended in the memo. continue to work together and see what you can work out.
Right, I have no problem with that. I think I think it'd be great for the, get in contact with Ian and we can all have a sit down to see what the best approach is to try and get this.
But it is possible to work it out.
Yeah, I mean, I don't wanna say never because I've seen some crazy stuff here, so.
I
but like,
understand,
yeah.
but.
The other point here is this is a small business.
Absolutely.
It's
Exactly.
tough enough to
I,
run a small business and it's very difficult to find a place to operate in.
absolutely, that is, and maybe I think folks at home need to know this as well, that that fact is not lost on me. I understand that it is quite difficult at times in this town to be a small business. I understand that.
Okay.
It's just, we have our regulations, we get complaints. And as you know, you've known me for a while, that I
On this new property, complaint from who? I'm
no,
not
it's
even.
from it's in our file. I can give you a copy of it. I'm not sure exactly who put it
Might be a
in.
staff member.
It might have been a city hall employee, it may have been a neighbor, it may have been somebody driving by.
I'm not even got neighbors.
Well, no, I mean, it could be anybody just driving by, as long as they live in
Okay,
Norwalk.
so for now, I'm
Yeah.
writing in my findings and determining the owner's working with staff to resolve the issues and we're continuing until August.
21st. Is oral notice good enough? I can send an email though.
Oh, 21st.
Yeah, we can send an
I'll
email.
send an email.
Yeah,
So, but
I think we just,
28 rooms.
yeah, just
Yeah.
as soon as you can.
This one should be,
Ian, and we'll
okay,
get a meeting together and we'll try and hammer it out.
all three,
Yep, absolutely.
should I email you?
yeah, I'll email you.
And then just arrange a date that
Okay,
works for
should I
everybody.
contact my landlord?
At which add 160, have him come by if he can.
Okay, what do we need from him?
Just have him come so we have a conversation here. And if he has Norwalk taxi
What's up
permit,
with,
that would be great. I mean, I'll get it for you
Rowan?
anyway, but if he
Okay,
has it,
Okay,
that's,
let's say he does,
yeah, have him bring that in or you can bring it in. And that would help. That would help a lot,
for what though?
just to see what was there in history.
Is this the one where the boat's removed?
Yes.
And John, you're all set, bud.
Um,
We'll be in touch.
28 Rowan.
You got it.
Thank you.
Yep.
So very
is the
long.
owner here?
Owner is not, he emailed me, it is on the record, it is English as second language, so there's a typo, he meant to say he cannot make it, he wrote that he can make it.
Oh.
But this one is very straightforward, we got a complaint, all the way back.
I got
Yeah.
your memo here.
Share screen. I'm there. Nope,
There you go,
that
there you
one.
go.
Why did we continue it last time? Is this the
He-
one where we had a question about what he was gonna do with the boat?
No, this one was, very last minute, yeah, that he requested continuance.
But he since removed the boat.
Yes, and we have, evidence, the boat has been gone, for, I'll say a few months.
Yeah, the first photo that we have here on the record is from June,
Mhm.
June 24th. This is the old Jimmy's Deli location on
Yeah, down there.
yeah, so the building's been demolished. It was just
Thank you.
the new owner that was demolishing the building is gonna rehab the property. Kept this boat there because we're a little closer to the water than where he lives.
And the boat has been gone since.
You know
May.
my thoughts on.
I'm,
boats.
yeah. Yeah, but
For Buford Street.
Yes, very patient people, that's.
then
Oh,
so we
record,
close that one out.
Yeah, 28 Rowan is close. And we do have a state statute, I believe, where if the boat doesn't come back, we can go straight to a violation, so.
Straight to a citation.
Yeah,
So if the boat does
Yeah,
come back,
because it's within the last.
within 12 months.
12 months, yeah, so if it does appear, it will come back, but I do not believe it'll come back.
I hope not.
So, for Buford, this should be
Okay.
another quick one.
So you are,
My name is Michael Johnson, architect working with the Barry Bear.
okay, and you are,
Owner of
your name,
Said Bari.
okay.
It was this one. This one, very long story short, for the ones at home, we received a.
Looks like,
complaint.
work done without permit.
Correct, yes.
What are we doing?
There was a dormer added to the rear and a side deck. Oh, sorry, that's what.
I had that site was brought in afterwards to the documentation so they could get a permit for zoning and for the building department. This was done prior to my being changed.
Okay, and where are you with that?
While we've done the field measurement, we have needed about a week to bring in documents for zoning and for the fast track.
The only, they have both homeowner and, Mr. Michael Ray, have been in contact with me. The only thing that we request is a survey because, the deck built on the side is fairly close to the property line. We have no determination of where the property line
Have a
is.
base survey?
We just acquired something from the town clerk's office. So I'm gonna
See if
contact,
you're gonna work with that.
yeah, I'm gonna contact the surveyor to see if they have the original documents for this.
Maybe they have the field.
Because there's a 10-foot side setback, we just want to confirm that, again, both homeowner
Can we
and,
do that with a surveyor's letter? If he were to go out, we need an entire survey? Or can the surveyor come out, we can measure and take this?
I would say, if you can get like just a base survey of the property, and you can just get me like the architectural drawings of the deck, we can just compare, contrast, how wide the deck is, where the setback is, we can work with that.
Ian, if I may, or if I may just jump, how are, John Haydock, Deputy Zoning Inspector, City of Norwalk, so how close are you to getting a full set of plans done?
About a week out.
About a week?
Yeah.
I say maybe, I think the recommendation was continue it to next month.
Correct, yes.
Maybe continue it to September, and maybe by then we can have the zoning permits and building permits pulled by then.
That's what we're looking for, yeah.
You sure that's enough time to get a permit out of?
Out of my office,
This will go straight to my
Council.
desk once they apply.
actually, you should go to my desk, I get them out pretty quick. I'm old school, I get them out pretty quick.
For the record, we still have a 2 to 3 week turnaround time for regular permits.
Right.
Like a, right,
All right, so we're gonna continue this to September.
yes. And I'll send an email.
Okay. yeah.
Reminding. And just for work, I do have full confidence in the homeowner and,
Oh, yeah.
architect to get this done. We have been in
I have
constant
a couple
contact.
projects in here now,
Mhm.
so. Yeah.
Sorry about that, I didn't realize.
No worries.
It's my first house, first primary house, and I never,
As you can tell today,
Experience.
we had several matters that are
Yeah.
work without permits, so a lot of, it's very
main
common.
thing I realized my mother-in-law also, she lives with us, we
Yeah.
have 5.
Right.
We don't have another storage space,
They just need a little more,
So
yeah.
we
you
need
need
some
room.
space.
Mostly for religious.
Makes sense.
purposes. They
Yeah,
wanna use
no
the
starting
square and the
space.
library.
Yeah, no,
I have
it-
2 kids.
you need a little room,
Yeah.
that's all. Makes sense.
Just, so, I've noted in my, termination there that the owners have obtained or engaged an architect and is working on permits. And we're continuing this to September 11th, 2024.
Okay, is that
2
at 2
o'clock.
2 o'clock as well? Okay.
And the obvious message here is don't do work on your house.
If we don't find out, a neighbor will, and somebody will.
I don't think we'll ever have that out of Mr. again.
Well, it gets more expensive the second.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
The other way to do
Absolutely, yeah.
it. Okay,
Hey, you guys are all set.
And I'll send you an email.
83 Washington Street.
All right.
Thank
Hey, you guys are all set. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
I do not see.
Oh, you ate Watson?
Okay.
Anyway, thank you so much. Have a good day.
You too.
I could check the hallway, but I do not believe you have anyone here. for it.
I had to close it because the kids are coming by.
Just waiting for him.
Take care.
I'll take a peek in the hallway to make sure no one is here for you through Washington Streets. Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good day.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. That's okay. Yeah, nobody should, yes.
We'll be all set with that. And no one's in the hallway for 83 Washington Streets.
It looks like they're out of your office now.
We are
It's in building.
in building, correct. It's similar to the situation with Norval where 7 Norval where they got their permit and we're just waiting to close out. So how this all started was
Do we need to do anything with this at all now?
I do want to continue this just to make sure that they are gonna get their sign permit because on the record, if anyone wants to read the file, the the property owner has been, they're doing things that, I don't think are good for the community. I'll just leave it like that. And, so I do want,
Yeah, but if it's not a violation of the zoning regs,
they did open up permits, they got a permit.
they got their permits.
Mhm.
And not
Waiting on some.
to, not to, I mean, this is kind of a, I think it's germane to the topic, but, like, it's a. I opine about this to the staff all the time. The problem is, yes, the violation is they're operating something or doing something with no permits. It's just my experience here and my time here is that we issue folks permits and maybe not something as trivial as this.
Yes, correct one, yes.
It may not be as
Well,
trivial as this, but you know, we have things like people come and get permits for apartments they did with no permit, without approvals. They come and get the approvals from us, or they may even go to the building department, but they never follow through on. It. So it's always a matter of
Yeah.
how do we keep their, you know,
In
lack of
other
better
words, they
speech to
do
the top.
enough to get you off their back and
Mhm. And wait for someone to complain.
Well, again, and then it's like, well, we're here again. So I've always been of the mindset of, you know, I keep things on our agendas, for me anyway, until they get their certificate. Because technically not having a certificate is a violation.
19 Slocum Street.
19 Slocum.
Anybody here?
No, he did email me again. He had a doctor's appointment. Here's this, the email came in yesterday. So this one, we got a complaint. Referral from the health department. And we actually got some updates from the health department today, less than an hour before this meeting. We got a referral from the health department for a suspected, 3-family. When we had it, our tax information shows that it has always been a 2-family residence. So I sent an
Which
inspection,
zone?
is,
Two-family zone or?
it is a multi-family zone. Pretty much for the zone that they're in, I believe it's CD3, they can have as much units as they could fit with their density, which is 1 unit per,
They got enough
1,600.
land area?
I'm sorry?
They have enough land area?
They do, but, I'll get there where, so they created the 3rd unit without, permits. I did inspection, it was, each floor had varying degrees of how nice it was, to be honest. They put the 3rd unit up without, permits.
So
And
you have a bunch of old field cards that show this two-family.
yes.
Right,
and
and-
converted.
And if I, just a slight correction, the initial referral came from the fire
Fire
marshal's office,
That's
Mark,
usually where it is,
Yeah.
because there's a fire
no, this one was.
or a smoke alarm.
No, because this was on their list as a 3-family, their annual checks for 3-family. So it was on, I'll be completely honest, that is an extremely good question, because usually they use the tax records for what they go and inspect as a 3-family. But he forwarded it to him, I'm just gonna make sure here. Yeah, has expected in the past and registered as legal 3-family in their jurisdiction. So at some point,
Okay, the
it got to the
housing-
fire marshal.
Yeah, multifamilies do get registered with. I think the housing authority,
Health department and fire marshal.
so that's,
Yeah, and that's how he got, but
and they don't send those over here to
Oh,
to
gosh,
ask
no.
you guys if it's
oh
okay.
gosh, no. No, not at
And
all.
many times they don't even, they may come out of here with a permit and the CO and everything, but they don't register it. You're supposed to do it like what, every year?
Over here, correct. And that's how the fire marshal gets their list. They register within, they go, and that's how Marshal Ortiz was out there.
So what are we doing? Are we continuing it? Hold on.
This one, you continue, however, when I was at lunch today, some representatives from the health department spoke to my colleague, Mr. Hayducky. Regarding the 3rd unit, and could you,
I'm gonna try, hang on.
I did not appreciate the work that was done because the 3rd unit was in the attic. Here's the kitchen that was covered, here's the refrigerator and a bed curtain, and behind, like, shower curtain, behind that shower curtain where they bed was right behind the refrigerator. So this was definitely, I'm no expert in terms of life safety, but I couldn't imagine anyone living here and having a safe situation. I didn't see any smoke detectors on this. I forwarded this to the health department building
You need
inspectors.
4 units for the fire department.
For the
Again,
More
marshal?
than 3. thought it was more than.
No, it's three or more. Yeah.
Is it three now?
Yeah.
Used to be four.
Oh, they sent, yeah, they're three.
Well, one of the things that I used to do when I was upstairs. In the more serious situations, figure out who's got the strongest. We'll do what you gotta do and we'll represent you and go court and whatever we have to do.
Right, and that's,
You know, so this, they may qualify as a legal three-family, but if they don't comply with the fire code or the health department. then-
Getting at that, so my original, in the citation, it says you need to apply for a permit to legally convert to a three unit residence. However, the health department came in and
well, yeah, so. I mean,
So let's just continue this a month and you're gonna,
you're gonna want to.
well, here, so the problem, the health department came in and this may be a meeting of, like, something coming to a head, is that, as you stated, the health department went up there and said that up to the third floor of this premises and said that the kitchen that's up there and the bathroom, they are in a position where there's clearly not enough head height. It's just, you're right here. So, however, it doesn't fall under their code to remedy that. It's the building department. So the problem lies, legally, we could be compelled, if they supply us the proper information, a floor plan, a survey to prove parking, things of that nature, we're compelled to give them a three-family.
don't you have to go around city hall?
Well, they have to go to the building department, and so technically, this is one of the, like I was just saying, this is one of those situations where the,
Yeah, but fire's not gonna stand for it. Do you have an egress issue?
well, you're right, and this email from, I apologize to those at home, this is my email, daily email.
It's all right.
I still want to put it on the record, that the fire marshal put an order to vacate and placed by the fire marshals on June 7th.
Yep.
The issue is that now that order to vacate is gonna get them out of there, but they have no right to tell them to remove anything.
No, but they can't allow people to come move back in.
So
they
it's gonna-
have to figure it out.
Right, so it's gonna be on, again, the fire marshals would have to go back in there at
Well,
some
let me
point.
just ask this kind of basic question. Here, this is a zoning process we're in here.
It is,
right?
right?
And I keep going back to the semi-SEAC meetings,
Oh, yeah.
right? Where you have the relevant departments come and you sit around the table and figure out who's got what violations
Right.
and, go from there. So here, if they've already issued the vacate order, then the next step is up. I mean, they're already down the road on enforcement action, and at some point, you know, you end up in court if you have to.
Right, I think my concern,
We did that with a property on Ely Avenue in Whistleville years ago, right?
number 77 by any
Fire.
chance?
And, there were a list of fire violations and eventually, they didn't correct what they were supposed to correct. And eventually they shut the building down on a Friday afternoon and had to displace everybody.
Right.
You know, but
Right.
that's how we did it.
Right, and
Technically, you might have had zoning issues, you might not. You might have had health issues, you might not. You know.
yeah, it's just, and I think this is something good for the folks at home that might watch this, is that, you know, our concern always here in zoning is the fire marshal is gonna make sure that the occupants are out.
Yeah,
And once they confirm they're out and they have no more
they're more
jurisdiction,
powerful than you.
oh, absolutely,
A lot of
they have the
people are
most power, you know, probably out of any housing body.
Yeah.
But once the person's vacated, because they may not have required to do any construction to remedy the fire marshal is, and again, there's a lack of better terms,
If
might
they're
go like
doing it
this.
the way I think they ought to be doing it, the landlord has an obligation to put tenants on.
Oh, correct, and that's what this process is, the
And
email is
either
outlining
Pay
that,
for it directly or reimburse the city.
right, it would be a lien, worse.
Yeah, and that becomes a very expensive proposition, because it's not a fine, it's the cost.
Right, it's just,
There's a limit, but there's still an economic impact to all of this.
that's assuming the fire marshal. Like, if
Well, why don't
If Marshal Ortiz goes back after X amount of days or however much it is, and it's been vacated, there's nothing there, but
Well, he should have gone back on June 8th.
I would assume he has, they
Have you,
didn't,
have you asked him?
this is the first, I just got this email
An hour ago.
literally an hour ago. But I guess,
Follow up with him.
I absolutely will, but I guess my further question down the road, let's say Marshal Ortiz says they're vacated and they're in compliance with the fire marshal's requirement of being vacated. Well, then they still have the apartment
Then
up
you don't
there.
have a 3-family use on it.
Oh, we do have a kitchen up there. We do have an apartment up
The
there.
covered
Well, you
kitchen.
do, but there's no occupancy.
Right, there's no, but I guess my thought to that would be, we don't
And-
generally regulate occupancy.
How about the building department?
Well, that's the building department, they regulate, again, where we think the illegality is, where we think is gonna be the ceiling height. So,
But see, this is what I keep coming back to. Get together with these other departments and see what the status is. For example, if the fire marshal says they're out and you can't fix this to make it a legal 3-family because of the fire code, then see what the fire marshal is gonna do about it.
Right.
You
right,
know?
and you're correct. I think like the old SEAC way of doing things would
Yeah.
be, it's great. It's just, this is something, it's gotten to the point where Attorney Overs would have, nodded his head with this. It's just gotten to the point where, things like this go, lack of better terms, go to die. Because they'll come in, the fire marshal will take their
They didn't
action.
die they didn't die before.
Exact, and I remember those days. That's why I'm frustrated with this. I remember this. And
Well, the
it's-
public gets less frustrated too.
because the way this,
All I can do is impose a fine. And
Right.
do what I can to nudge people toward compliance.
right. And that's what Attorney Overs does as
You
well.
know, and if you. Yeah, you can get injunctions, you can,
Right.
you do things in Superior Court and not even go the citation route.
Right.
Um,
I think this is just, and I'll put my, I'll get off my soapbox after, it's just that.
Well, no, I mean, it's just a. right, you
Oh,
got-
no, I'm definitely gonna follow up with Marshal Ortiz without a doubt.
These are all in your file, right?
Right.
So I don't
Yeah.
need to make any particular decisions. So, all right, so for 19 Slocum, what are we doing?
What did I recommend?
Well,
So he did come in, he submitted just the application form, no plans, I told him that he needs plans.
why don't I say fire marshal enforcement pending?
Yep.
Mhm.
And owner is working with staff.
This is a snail space, but yes.
Last one.
Should be.
Record timing here.
Look at us.
Okay. Fire marshal enforcement pending, owner working with staff to resolve zoning violations, matter continued to August 21.
And I believe that was the last one. Thank you.
And that concludes the agenda for this afternoon. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you for your time.
Our next set of citation hearings for those at home will be on July 24th, and I'll return to the helm with Attorney Overs. Have a good day, everyone.